Welcome back to SFA News Live. With me is Mike Lee. Now, Mike and I met at the Summer Fancy Food Show, where you put together the future of food, the future market, as it says across your chest. It was fabulous. It was probably one of the biggest hits of the Fancy Food Show. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Bring me up to speed. What has happened since June, and what do you have here?
So a couple things. First and foremost, we've updated our product catalog up to 29 products now. We have 6 new products that we launched this week here. And in the true spirit of the future market, we're still looking to build up a vision of what we see these current innovative trends happening, of what they might look like in the future, as a way to kind of guide people and inspire people to the future of food.
So tell me about these 6 products that are being introduced here. I haven't gotten over to you yet, but I will get there.
We're just getting started. So we're hitting on a bunch of different themes. So one of the themes we're hitting on is on a food tech angle, blockchain for food. So using the digital ledger that is blockchain to kind of audit the supply of where something came from. So we have a product called Blockbirds. It's essentially a packaged chicken product where you can trace the entire life of that chicken right on the package back using blockchain technologies.
In fact, we just did a story, I want to say about 2 weeks ago, and I forgot the name of the poultry processor in China that is actually using facial recognition with chickens. So when it comes to technology, it's changing the wave of food. And blockchain, certainly if you look at what INS is doing in Russia, they're really pushing the envelope. So you're saying blockchain is here, it's going to happen, and beware.
Well, it's really a promising technology, but the thing we wanted to get ahead of is to start building muscles in how do you communicate it to people in a way that resonates. Because I think at the end of the day, you have to be able to do that, otherwise the technology behind the scenes is all for naught,
or it's too scary, and they don't want to relate technology to something that they're eating.
Exactly, and I think, we don't necessarily have the silver bullet for that yet, but that's, again, one of the roles of the future market is for us to put out our visions as they are today to get feedback from people, to see how people react to it, and then kind of keep iterating on it from there. That's really in the heart and soul of what we're trying to do with the future market and the concept products.
So what are the other 5 products?
We have another product called Kernza Crunch, which is a kid cereal based off of Kernza, which is a super sustainable perennial grain that is much more sustainable than traditional wheat. We have another product called Mini Mill, which is essentially a mass-produced flour mill, so people can start grinding flour on their own at home, trying to get fresh flour to their diets much easier.
And what's the benefits of fresh flour versus packaged flour?
So flour is interesting. It is peak freshness at 2 and 20 days. So 2 days after you grind flour, you get the most kind of liveliness and flavor out of the grain that happens. And it's only for whole grains, but if you grind it and wait 2 days, enough has happened in the enzymes that's where the lively the flavor comes from. Now after that, it oddly kind of dips into this period where it's a little bit more stale, but then after 20 days, the enzymes come back up and develop. So, this is a movement that we're very near and dear to us, is trying to re-engage people's imaginations about grains. Flour is sort of an overlooked category. People just think flour is flour.
And we've gone through all the ancient grains. And we're now seeing those in just about everything. But it's not to the extent of what you're describing.
I think what we're trying to describe is an extension of this conversation we have been having around the ancient grains. I think ancient grains and the interest around that really seeded the conversation, because it kind of made people revisit the idea of grains and kind of maybe get a little bit away from the whole, all carbs are bad, all gluten-free is everything. So I think it's an ongoing conversation, but we're excited about grains and things like that.
So that leaves one other product or 2 other products?
There's a few more other products. One more I can note too is a product called Faux Fin, and it's looking at cellular agriculture and using it in a way to make something called shark fin soup, which is a dish in Chinese culture that's been celebrated for a long time. But it's a little bit polarizing because of what it does to the shark population and things like that. They essentially kind of rip the fins off sharks and make this soup. So cellular agriculture is interesting because you can create proteins, and could you use that technology to create proteins in a lab of things that are typically taboo or very kind of inhumane or unsustainable, right? And so in that ever-growing field of cellular agriculture, that's one of the angles that we want to explore.
And I think cellular agriculture, for so many reasons, whether it's health, taste, obviously the impact on the environment, is clearly, on the radar of just about everybody.
Absolutely, absolutely. One other product I'll mention too that we have too is a product called Plant Plate, and we've sort of modeled it loosely off of the old Hungry Man dinners where the meat was the center of the plate.
Right.
And it's sort of a counterintuitive move, but we're also constantly trying to explore the future of what's sort of mainstream and really kind of accessible, not just what's for the elites. And we look at things like kind of, cheap, affordable frozen dinners and say, how can you move the needle on those kinds of things, right? How do you make plants and plant protein at the center of the plate instead of animal protein? And can you kind of have a really interesting health and sustainability conversation around there? So that's just a smattering of some of the products that we
sounds
launched.
Fabulous what you're doing.
Thank you.
So, as you walk the show floor, besides people coming over to see what you have, what are some of the things that either you've seen or you hope to see here that are going to, spur that brilliant mind of yours on?
So we just got here and we've been focused on our booth, so I haven't had a chance to walk the floor yet, but what I'm always on the lookout for is, a couple things. I think one is just revitalization of kind of old sleepy categories, right? So categories that you may not have seen a lot of innovation for. I'm always looking for new entrants that are doing cool things in there. I'm always looking for people who can kind of weave a really interesting and excellent kind of sustainability conversation about the food that they're doing, but do it in a way that kind of is not too pedantic, and do it in a way that's really elegant and just rightly balanced.
And also in a way that people will make it part of their lifestyle versus being lectured to.
Exactly. We take a lot of cues out of the classic Big Food playbook because I think Big Food is a really great engine for boiling stories down and making them very compelling and memorable to people. And I think it's those kind of tactics we need to adopt around the sustainability conversation to not dumb down the ideas and whatnot, but it's just, I think it's a communication challenge. And I'm always looking for brands that can really nail that.
Well, again, good luck to you. I expect to see, if you have 6 products here, by the summer you'll have another 12 products.
Yeah,
I know you. I know you. Well, Mike, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to do something really interesting. Now, this is going to be the first tasting that we have. We have the man from Greece who knows everything about Greek food, who's going to be with us, who's bringing us all kinds of products to taste, and we're going to find out just how important the foods from Greece really are. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Yeah, so we got to set up a thing real quick. Okay. Hi, Tony. Hey, how's it going, man? Good. Sorry, let's get a bite to eat. Oh, cool. I didn't want to bug you.